Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will now formally open the summit, and may I kindly request that we all rise as we take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please rise.
We hail thee, our own dear native land, though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
You may be seated. Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again we welcome you. And also to let you know that today's conversations are not just about risk, they are about opportunity, how Lagos and Africa can convert our coastline, our oceans, and our natural assets into resilient, inclusive prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, this summit stands today because of the drive, the discipline, and the direction of one man whose heart beats for a cleaner, greener, more resilient Lagos. Under his leadership, the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources has become more than an office. It has become a movement, reshaping mindsets, restoring order, and reminding us that Lagos must not only expand, Lagos must breathe again. He is redefining environmental stewardship with uncommon energy and a deep belief that every policy must translate into impact. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, as he delivers the welcome address. Before he starts, I'd like to ask that, can we have the media guys leave the stage, please? Media guys, please. You are covering the screen, please.
Mr. Governor, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, Obas here seated, members of GSA, members of the Diplomatic Corps, my colleagues from the Lagos State Executive Council, body of permanent secretary, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great delight that I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you joining us for this 11th edition of the Lagos State International Climate Change themed Blue Economy, Green Money, Financing Africa's Coastal Resilience and Ocean Innovation. Your presence here today is a testament to our shared determination to secure a sustainable and prosperous future for Lagos and Nigeria at large. This year's summit could not be more critical. It reflects our ministerial resolve to unlock sustainable financing and pioneer innovative solutions that will safeguard our oceans, strengthen our coasts, and unlock prosperity for generations to come. Since its inception by the Governor Emeritus, Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the Lagos International Climate Change Summit has evolved from a policy dialogue into a globally recognized platform for actionable climate participation and partnership. Each edition has built upon the last, from deepening our understanding of climate risk to now unlocking sustainable finance for resilience and innovation. At this year's summit, we want to deep dive into the many potentials inherent in the blue economy. The Atlantic Ocean is more than just a beautiful sight or a place to relax. It's a vital artery for commerce, a source of countless livelihoods, and a defining part of our landscape and identity as Lagos. It goes without saying that the incredible resource is also one of our greatest vulnerabilities. Scientific evidence shows that Lagos faces real threats from rising sea level, extreme flash flooding, and soaring temperature. Every day, we witness pollution in our waterways, from the careless dumping of liquid and solid waste to the spread of plastic pollution and unregulated dredging and reclamations. These are not distant challenges for us in Lagos. Lagos sees opportunities. Lagos, as a state, sees this crisis happening right now. This is a call to action to transform our blue waters and vibrant coast into engines of resilience and inclusive growth, ensuring a future that truly leaves no one behind. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, where others see risks, Lagos sees opportunities. With this summit, we have a chance to redefine our relationship with the ocean, not as a resource to be exploited, but as a living system to be nurtured. One that sustains both our people and our planet. The blue economy represents more than just water-based industries. It embodies a new frontier for sustainable prosperity. This year's summit also provides an opportunity to bridge a crucial gap, the gap between visionary climate action and sustainable financing needed to make it a reality. Our mission is clear: to unlock the capital that will help us build a resilience, drive innovation, and protect our coastal future as Lagos. Lagos State isn't just talking about this vision. We are taking concrete steps to bring it to life. Under the visionary leadership of my principal, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Lagos continues to lead Nigeria's sub-national climate response through a bold initiative and strategic investment that strengthens our environmental resilience. This leadership has not gone unnoticed. Lagos has been ranked the top performing state in Nigeria for climate governance for the second year running. This is according to the 2025 Sub-National Climate Governance Performance Rating. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are taking our efforts to the next level by embracing nature-based solutions to tackle erosions and flooding, while also promoting sustainable fisheries and supporting technology startups that champions eco-friendly innovations and job creation. By December this year, the ministry, in partnership with C40 Climate Global Leadership Group, will commission a biogas facility at the Kosi Isheri Fruit Market, a project that turns 500 kilograms of fruit waste each day into clean energy. This green energy will power the market, street lights, and serve as a cooking fuel for food vendors in the market. Even the byproduct of this process, known as digestate, will be used for good use for nature fertilizer for our farmers in the state, creating a truly circular and sustainable system. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to announce that today, Mr. Governor, the Governor of Lagos State, and my principal, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, will officially launch our latest policy document, tagged and named the Climate Investment Opportunities Diagnosis. This is sponsored by the World Bank and is ready to be unveiled today. This landmark document serves as a vital bridge between our urgent environmental priorities and the tangible investment pathway needed to build a resilient, low-carbon future for all Lagosians. It reflects our commitment to turning climate ambition into action, and action into lasting impact and legacies. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Lagos recognizes that our challenges transcend borders. Other coastal African cities face similar vulnerabilities. This is why we must work together, sharing data, expertise, and resources to build a united African front for coastal resilience. The future of our coastline depends on the decisions we make today. We are gathered here to send a clear message to the world that Lagos is ready to lead in the sustainable management of its ocean and coastal resources, ready for the investment, ready for innovation, and ready to build resilience that benefits our people. As Lagos State hosts this summit today and tomorrow, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to lead by example, to remain the beacon of innovation, resilience, and sustainable progress in our sub-Saharan Africa. On behalf of the Lagos State government, I warmly welcome all our distinguished guests, partners, and delegates from across Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for believing in Lagos vision. Igbega Ipinleku, Ajumoshe.
May I request that we give him one more round of applause? Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Governor, sir, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Sir, with your kind permission, we'll take some goodwill messages. First on the lineup is the Special Advisor to Mr. Governor on the Environment, Engineer Olakunle Rotimi Akodu. Sir, you have just 2 minutes.
Mr. Governor, we really appreciate you honoring us with your presence, sir. Mr. Deputy Governor, thank you so much for being here. Our royal fathers, thank you so much. Colleagues from the State Executive Council, thank you for joining us here. Body of permanent secretaries, we appreciate you. The international bodies that are here, the diplomats that are here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Well, blue economy, as said, is what we're all familiar with. There are potentials that are bound, a lot that we need to unlock. Mr. Governor, in his magnanimity and ingenuineness has done a lot. He has led the way, he has shown the way, he has given us he has led the way, he has shown us what to do, and we're diligently following up on that. Mr. Governor has also, in about few weeks or a few months back, led the team of ESCO members towards Elashe. And what we found there is huge potential for tourism. These are opportunities we need to work on, we need to tap. The Lekki corridor in itself, if you look at it, is opened up now, and the Lekki deep sea port has really opened up that place. Lagos is a state that is made up of over 20% of water, and is as often referred to Lagos a state of aquatic splendor. We will be doing a great disservice not taking advantage of this or allowing this to go into ruin. People are coming daily to mess up the water bodies. What is supposed to be advantageous to Lagos is becoming disadvantageous. It's creating a lot of environmental issues. And there are a lot of revenues that can come from there. So the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources have the mandate of Mr. Governor to see that we convert these negativities to positives. Just of recent, like as said by Honorable Commissioner, Lagos was just honored in Abuja for the second time consecutive, the best performing state, subnational in Nigeria, in climate governance. All the necessary activities that are expected to be in place, Lagos has been rated to be first nationally. And we want to assure you that as we continue to give in our best, Lagos will never let back. More and more successes will be recorded. Blue economy, green money, coastal innovations, and all of these are things that we need to put in place to ensure that the progress of the state is assured. Once again, I want to say thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Governor, and everyone here. Thank you so much for coming.
Mr. Governor, sir, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, next we'll take the goodwill message from the Kingdom of Netherlands. Let me invite the Policy Advisor on Economic Affairs and Public Diplomacy, Okpeyemi Oriniowu. A round of applause for him, please. Sir, you have just 2 minutes.
Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, permit me to stand on already established protocol. I'm taking this goodwill on behalf of the Netherlands Mission in Nigeria. It's a great honor for the Kingdom of the Netherlands to join the government and people of Lagos State at this year's Lagos International Climate Summit. The theme, Blue Economy, Green Economy, Financing Africa's Coastal Resilience, and Ocean Innovation, captures a shared ambition for both our nations and all their building prosperity while safeguarding the planet. As a country that has lived below sea levels for centuries, the Netherlands understands what it means to turn vulnerability into strength. Our long history of living with water, not against it, has shaped our belief that sustainable progress depends on collaboration, innovation, and inclusion. This is why we are proud of our deepening partnership with Lagos State and other subnational governments across Nigeria in advancing climate resilience, circular innovation, and sustainable water and waste management. Last year, together with the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources and a number of Dutch companies and knowledge partners, we organized a learning mission to the Netherlands focused on urban waste management, circular economy solutions, and climate adaptation. Earlier this year, we built on that momentum with a learning exchange on nature-based solutions for coastal protection and erosion control. in partnership with the Lagos State Ministry of Waterfront Infrastructure Development. A key outcome of that mission was an award of grants by Invest International to support pre-visibility studies and visibility studies for the Lagos coastline. This has now been formalized through a memorandum of understanding between the consortium of Dutch companies, CDR, Boskalis and Van Oord, and the Lagos State government, making a significant step towards evidence-based sustainable coastal protection. In addition, the Netherlands mission hosted a circular economy innovation exchange, which brought together and took the Lagos State Office of Climate Change and Circular Economy alongside delegates from Ogun, Abia, Anambra, and Kano states to the Netherlands. We also supported the National Council of Climate Change in the development of the Nigeria NDC 3.0. These national and cross-regional initiatives underscores our shared commitments to fostering circular growth and local climate innovation across Nigeria. We're also encouraged by the Lagos State Waterways Authority and their plans to visit the Netherlands for the Maastricht exhibition, the world's largest showcase of marine technology and innovation, and their request for support towards actualization of sustainable water transportation system in Lagos State. These continued exchanges reflect strong forward-looking partnerships between Lagos State government and the Netherlands, one grounded in practical collaboration and mutual learning. As the conversation at this summit turns towards financing Africa's coastal resilience, it is worth noting that the Netherlands offers a robust ecosystem of financing and technical support instruments for climate-related projects. Mechanisms such as the Dutch Fund for Climate and Development and Invest International are designed to catalyze investments in climate adaptation, nature-based infrastructure, circular economy initiatives, and sustainable blue economy ventures. These facilities actively seek partnerships with African governments and private sector and development actors to turn bold ideas into bankable and scalable projects. As Lagos State continues to champion Africa's blue and green economy, the Netherlands remains a steadfast partner supporting initiatives that mobilize climate finance, strengthening coastal resilience, and to empower innovation-driven solutions for sustainable future. Together, we can transform shared challenges into shared opportunities for our economies, our people, and our planet. On behalf of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, I extend our warmest wishes and fruitful deliberation and pray for a lasting partnership between both parties. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Governor, sir, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Next, let me invite the Consul General from the People's Republic of China for our goodwill message. A round of applause for her, Yan Yuyin.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, Mr. Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Mr. Deputy Governor, Mr. Hamdet, you are all great friends of China. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm General Counsel of China in Lagos, but I like you call me Ayo Uchi Fatima. I love Nigeria. I love Lagos. This is Lagos. So it is a great pleasure to attend the 11th Lagos International Climate Change Summit today. You know, in September 2025, Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a video speech to the United Nations Climate Summit. At this critical moment, making the 10th anniversary of the Paris Agreement and for countries to submit the new nationally determined contributions, President Xi Jinping called for the following in his speech. First, we must form up confidence. Second, we must live up to responsibilities. Third, we must deepen cooperation. Just last month, the fourth plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of CPC reviewed and adopted the 15th five-year plan for national economic and social development, which made further agreements for accelerating the green transition across the board and building a beautiful China, highlighted pressing ahead with the critical battle against pollution and the drive to upgrade ecosystems, moving faster to develop a new type of energy system, working actively and prudently toward peaking carbon emissions and accelerating the shift to eco-friendly production practices and lively styles. China has taken correct steps and is seeing significant results in its climate efforts. Our urban density continues to fall. In 2024, non-fossil fuels already accounted for nearly 1/5 of our primary energy mix, and we have met several of our 2030 targets, including for wind and solar capacity and forest stock ahead of schedules. China is committed to both global climate governance and green development in the global south. Since 2016, we have mobilized over 177 billion Chinese yuan to support developing countries to address climate change. So far, we have signed 55 climate MOUs on South-South climate cooperation with 43 countries, run over 300 capacity building projects, and provided 10,000 training places to more than 120 nations, all to extend the benefits of low-carbon cooperation. China has consistently strengthened cooperation with Nigeria in green and low-carbon development. In November 2024, China's Ministry of Ecology and Environment and the Nigeria Federal Ministry of Environment signed an MOU on cooperation development of the Lekki low-carbon demonstration zone under the Africa Light Belt Initiative. So China will support Nigeria in enhancing its climate change response capabilities through joint development plans, exchange seminars, and capacity building activities. So I think climate change is a common challenge for all humanity. So let's together go ahead and to build a beautiful China, Nigeria, Lagos. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor, sir, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, with your kind permission, invite the Field Representative, Deputy Head of Mission, representing the British Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Simon Field. A round of applause for him, please.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Mr. Governor, Deputy Governor, KBC's Honorable Commissioner. My name is Oluwatosin Adenuga. I'm representing the British High Commission. Distinguished guests, colleagues, and partners, on behalf of the British Deputy High Commission, I extend warm greetings and commend Lagos State for its bold and transformative leadership in climate action and sustainable development. Lagos stands as a beacon of innovation and resilience, not only for Nigeria, but for the entire African continent. As Africa's fastest growing coastal city, Lagos has embraced its climate vulnerabilities as opportunities for progress. For 2 consecutive years now, Lagos has been rated Nigeria's best performing state in climate governance. Congratulations to Lagos. This achievement is not just about numbers. It reflects years of deliberate work, strong policies, and collective effort. The UK is proud to work with Lagos to support innovative climate-smart initiative that attracts flows of green finance into the state. By mainstreaming climate change across the economy, we unlock opportunities for resilient growth. Through the Future Cities program, we proudly supported Lagos in shaping sustainable urban transport and waterways strategies, laying the foundation for the transformative projects like the Umieko project. The recent E1 series, hosted here in Lagos, is another great example of innovation born on the River Thames in London. This event showcased clean marine technology and global collaboration. We are excited that British firms like Cyber Technologies are exporting cutting-edge solutions, creative jobs, and driving green growth. We celebrate Lagos for convening this summit and for fostering collaborations across borders, sectors, and generations. May this gathering catalyze new partnerships, unlock sustainable financing, and inspire climate solutions that uplift community across Africa and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor, sir, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies. Quickly, with your kind permission, sir, from the Consulate General of the Federal Republic of Germany in Lagos, let's welcome the Deputy Consul General, Gerald Wolf. Your Excellency, sir, you have just 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to face such a distinguished audience today, and I'm very grateful to the Lagos State Government for organizing this conference, which is pinpointing the challenges a coastal city like Lagos is facing as it is impacted by rising sea levels as an effect of worldwide climate change. As we speak, world leaders are gathering in Brazil on the eve of the COP30 conference in Belém next week, where further contributions to tackle climate change will be discussed, and Germany and Nigeria are doing their share to do the best efforts that can be done to reduce the effects of climate change. Germany and Nigeria have agreed energy partnership. Among other things, this is supposed to support the implementation of the energy transition plan that Nigeria has decided upon. And among other things, Germany has set up a hydrogen office, dedicated office to promote the use of hydrogen as the fuel of the future. And we also support projects to promote the use of solar energy across the country. And earlier this week, the German and Nigerian governments have met in the Binational Commission in Berlin to discuss further projects to promote energy cooperation, which will further help to reduce the effects of climate change worldwide. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Mr. Governor, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies. Next, let me invite the representative of the Right Honorable Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Obasa, in the person of the Chairman House Committee on the Environment, Honorable Olanrewaju Afini.
The Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, a great Lagosian, a great Lagos Islander, a man at whose behest I serve. The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, HC Environment, SA Environment, and other members of the State Cabinet here present, the Oba of Lagos, represented by the White Cap Chiefs, other traditional rulers here present, GAC members here present, all other courtesies duly extended. On behalf of the Lagos State House of Assembly, I extend my warmest greetings and congratulate the Lagos State government for its leadership in hosting this critical dialogue. The theme, Blue Economy, Green Money, Financing Africa's Coastal Resilience, and ocean innovation is just what is needed at the moment. Lagos, a dynamic coastal megacity, stands as a testament to Africa's potential and resilience. Our focus on harnessing our vast marine and coastal natural capital is not just an environmental strategy, it is an economic blueprint for sustainable growth, job creation, and climate adaptation for the entire continent. This summit should be more than just a meeting of minds. It should be a catalyst for action, as it has been for many years running. It is a platform for turning ambition into investment and vision into reality. The global community looks to forums like this for bold ideas and concrete steps towards a sustainable future. We are here for advocacy, to mobilize finance, and of course, to forge partnerships. The Lagos State House of Assembly is proud to be part of this crucial endeavor. May our deliberations over the next couple of days be fruitful and lead to a wave of new ideas, innovations, and investments that will create a more prosperous and resilient future for coastal communities across Africa and the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Governor, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take the last goodwill message, which is that of the Governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, ably represented here today by the Director General and Special Envoy to the Governor on Climate Change and Renewable Energy, Professor Chinwe Obuaku Igwe. A round of applause for her, please.
Good morning. Your Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State, the Deputy Governor, Honorable Commissioners, Permanent Secretaries, Royal Fathers, distinguished delegates, global experts, innovators, policymakers, and esteemed guests. I've just been informed that we are the last to share our goodwill message. And with your kind permission, Mr. Governor, I'd like to digress from my script. The last time I was here, I nearly suffered a heart attack for two reasons. Because when I attended a meeting in Abuja, a representative of the Federal Ministry of Environment indicated that Lagos is ahead of Nigeria as a country. That before the federal government would think of implementing any project, Lagos State is already ahead of us. It is an honor and a privilege to bring you warm greetings from His Excellency, Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke, the Governor of Osun State, and from the people of Osun State, a state passionately committed to building a future that is not only climate resilient, but climate intelligent. The Lagos International Climate Change Summit has, over the years, evolved from a local policy forum into one of Africa's most credible intellectual and strategic platforms for climate discourse. And this 19th edition, themed Blue Economy, Green Money, Financing Africa's Coastal Resilience and Ocean Innovation, affirms Lagos's continued leadership in translating climate ambition into actionable pathways. Let me begin by acknowledging with both humility and admiration that Lagos State currently ranks first overall in the National Climate Governance Index, a recognition that celebrates not just your vision, but your sustained commitment to institutionalizing climate responsibility. Regionally, Lagos stands as number one, with Osun State proudly holding the second position. Give us a round of applause, come on. Your Excellency, Osun State created the Climate Change Department, and in under 1 year, in less than 1 year, we went from the 30th position to the 6th. So I believe we deserve another round of applause. In the climate governance landscape, Lagos is not just leading, it is lighting the path. And Osun State, following closely, draws strength and inspiration from our big brother, from that brilliance, as we currently and collectively shape a narrative of resilience that is uniquely Nigerian, proudly African, and globally consequential. This year's theme invites us to reimagine the ocean, not as a boundary, but as a frontier, not merely as a body of water, but as a body of wealth, wisdom, and wonder. Financing Africa's coastal resilience is not just an economic pursuit. It is an act of moral geography, one that redraws the map of our collective destiny along the lines of sustainability, equity, and shared prosperity. At a time when climate change is rewriting the script of development and redefining the true meaning of wealth, it is no longer enough to chase growth. We must curate it. We must ensure that every naira and dollar spent on adaptation is an investment in dignity, and every innovation on ocean resilience is a covenant with future generations. In Osun State, under the visionary leadership of Governor Ademola Jackson Adeleke, we are cultivating a new ecosystem of climate action, one that integrates renewable energy transitions, climate-smart agriculture, circular economy initiatives, and youth-focused green livelihoods. We have begun the domestication of the National Climate Change Act 2021. We have established frameworks for greenhouse gas accounting at subnational level, and we are working toward a carbon economy blueprint that transforms emissions into opportunities. But we also know that no state can walk this path alone. Climate governance is not a competition, it is a communion. It is in Lagos that we see what's possible when governance, innovation, and moral clarity intersect. So today, as we gather in the space of ideas and intent, let us commit not only to talk about resilience, but to finance it, to institutionalize it, and to live it. Let us make Africa's blue economy not just a vision for tomorrow, but an enterprise of today, powered by green money, guided by blue wisdom, and anchored on the deep current of continental collaboration. On behalf of my principal, the government, and people of Osun State, I congratulate the Lagos State government for its enduring leadership and intellectual generosity in hosting the summit. May the insights shared here ripple far beyond the shores of Lagos, inspiring other states, including my lovely Osun State, to build an Africa that not only survives the climate crisis, but defines the post-carbon era. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Osun is clearly racing. Can we give Osun State another round of applause? Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We now go into our theme with lead paper 1. Our speaker is a respected voice from the Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership, and today he will help us connect the dots between regulation, credibility, and climate finance at scale. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Taiwo Ajetumobi to deliver lead paper 1 on blue economy, green money, financing Africa's coastal resilience and ocean innovation. Can we please give him a round of applause as he comes up stage?
Your Excellency, Mr. Governor, Your Excellency, Mr. Deputy Governor, please permit me to stand on previously established protocol. I am Taiwo Ajetumobi, a proud, very, very proud Lagosian, a product of Ikeja Grammar School, Oshodi. So it is very good to be home. I lead the investment management team at Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership. And on behalf of my Director General and the Special Envoy of Mr. President to China, I greet you all good afternoon. It is an honor to stand before this distinguished audience at a time when Lagos is once again setting the tone for subnational economic leadership in Africa. The theme of this year's summit, Blue Economy, Green Money, Financing Africa's Coastal Resilience and Ocean Innovation, is not only timely, but it is also visionary. It reflects a growing understanding that the prosperity of our people and the preservation of our planet must move in tandem. Today's paper will be centered on on 7 key points. Lagos and the blue economy opportunity. When we speak of the blue economy, we're speaking of more than oceans and waterways. We're speaking of a new development frontier where climate resilience and coastal infrastructure, logistics, energy, and tourism intersect. For Nigeria, the blue economy represents the next horizon of growth. And Lagos, with its 180 kilometers, that is about 20% of the entire coastline of the country, its vibrant ports and dynamic private sector is uniquely positioned to lead this transformation. Indeed, Lagos has already demonstrated what strategic vision and strong governance can achieve. For instance, the Lekki Deep Sea Ports, executed through a PPP between the federal government, Lagos State, and private investors, stands as one of Africa's most successful examples of subnational federal alignment. It is more than a port. It is an ecosystem that will catalyze over $360 billion to Nigeria's GDP and generate about $200 billion in new government revenue over its 45-year concession period. In addition, it strengthens Nigeria's already strong position as a regional maritime hub. This project succeeded because the federal government and Lagos state governments spoke with one voice. They de-risked the project environment and created a structure where private capital could thrive. It is proof that when the federal vision meets subnational execution, private capital is bound to follow. Number 2, the imperative of alignment. You will hear me say alignment, alignment, alignment a lot today. Today, we must apply this same logic to further developing Nigeria's blue economy and in developing climate-resilient infrastructure projects. At the federal level, Nigeria's energy transition plan, the Blue Climate Action, the Blue Economy Policy Framework, and the Presidential Initiative on Climate Action are clear statements of intent from the federal government. At the state level, Lagos is developing innovative water transport systems, coastal protection programs, and waste-to-energy initiatives. Now, for context globally, climate finance has become the fastest growing segment of development capital, with over $1 trillion available annually and rising. And so the opportunity is clear. Alignment remains the missing link. Investors, whether in Beijing, Dubai, or London, are looking for 3 important things: policy coherence, regulatory predictability, and project bankability. If we align this across tiers of government, we can unlock billions in private and blended capital for Lagos State's blue economy, as well as for the multiple climate-resilient infrastructure developments going on. On number 3, I'll speak on PPP models that we have seen work in the past. And honestly, we have all the tools already. From my work at Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership, I have seen how the right PPP frameworks can turn ambition into assets. Around the world, cities are financing climate-resilient projects using adaptable PPP structures. This is a model Nigeria can scale, also leveraging our own local innovation. Let me highlight a few, each of which allows private operators to invest and generate attractive returns. Number 1, design, build, finance, and operate. In this instance, the private party designs, they build, they finance, they operate, but government retains ownership. And this model is ideal for utilities, where there is an imperative for the government to deliver social goods to its people. The very popular build, operate, transfer model that we've seen work really well in Nigeria. In fact, it was exactly the model that was used to develop MMA2 in the past. In this instance, private sector will build, they will operate, and they will concession for a period of time. And it is fantastic for airport terminals, ferry terminals, coastal highways, and the likes. You've got the lease, develop, and operate model, in which case the state already owns the asset. What private sector is doing is they're essentially taking over operational control of such assets and operational risk. Things like jetties, waterfront facilities can be leased, they can be modernized and operated by private sector. And then you have the traditional concession agreement that we all know, where the asset already exists and private sector just comes to operate it. Each of these models offers Lagos the opportunity to leverage private innovation and financing while maintaining public oversight and social value. Number 4, there's some lessons from success. When federal and state policy aligns, projects move from PowerPoint to pavement quickly. Let me quickly illustrate 3 instructive examples across Nigeria. The Lekki Deep Sea Port, where federal and state governments aligned under a BOT concession supported by Chinese and Nigerian investors. Clear governance and shared incentives de-risked the project and ended up attracting about $1 billion in investment capital. The Lagos-Ibadan Railway, where the federal government-led execution involved cooperation with Lagos and Ogun states. This project illustrates how intergovernmental coordination can accelerate logistics, integration, and regional growth. I had highlighted before the Murtala Mohammed Airport, MMA2, Nigeria's first privately financed airport terminal. It transformed air travel experience while reducing fiscal pressure on government. Each of these projects succeeded because they shared 3 common features: clarity of roles, transparency of process, and continuity of commitments across political cycles. These are the same ingredients Lagos must preserve as it scales its own climate-resilient PPP projects. Number 5, I will speak on improving the business environment. As global investors evaluate Nigeria's PPP space, several critical lessons stand out from international best practices on how to improve ease of doing business for them. Lagos can champion this at a subnational level. 1, standardization and transparency. Developing a unified PPP framework for Lagos, aligned with Infrastructure Concession and Regulatory Commission at the federal level, using model concession agreements already pre-developed, and having an online pipeline that is available to investors and can attract credible investors quickly. 2, early stage project preparation. Many projects die at this early stage in the project development journey. Lagos State can develop a Lagos PPP preparation fund to finance feasibility studies and environmental assessments. Investors are way more likely to commit when projects are both technically ready and financially bankable. Number 3, blended and local currency finance. Lagos can work with development partners to create a viability gap funding and partial credit guarantee instruments. This will make climate and social projects bankable while mitigating exchange rate risk for investors. Number 4, stronger institutional gatekeeping. Lagos can empower its Office of PPPs and ministries such as Ministry of Environment and Water Resources to act as gatekeepers, ensuring value for money assessments and fiscal risk evaluations before approval. And number 5, but not the least, policy consistency. It is important that Lagos maintains strong alignment between it as a subnational and the federal government, aligning its climate priorities with the federal government's nationally determined contributions and global frameworks such as the Paris Agreement and the AU's Africa Blue Economy Strategy. If Lagos adopts these reforms and initiatives, it can position itself as Africa's model for subnational climate investment, a place where sustainability meets profitability. I cannot leave without talking about China. From the vantage point in my office, I must emphasize the strategic role of China as a global partner in the blue economy infrastructure. China today leads the world in clean energy development, off-grid electrification, port development, shipbuilding capacity, and marine logistics digitization. In addition, its financial institutions, such as the China Development Bank and China Exim Bank, are increasingly prioritizing green and climate-aligned projects. In fact, several Chinese investors have already shown interest in partnering on Lagos State's waste-to-energy projects Lagos Water Transport Development Program, and solar-powered cold chain hubs across fishing communities in the state. These are precisely the type of projects that align with the theme of this summit, as well as both Nigeria's energy transition plan and China's Belt and Road Initiative. By institutionalizing frameworks that are transparent, consistent, and commercially viable, Lagos can attract a ready wave of capital, not as loans, but as long-term equity investors and partners in the development of our very dear Lagos. Number 7, the way forward. Distinguished guests, the path before us is clear. The question is not whether Nigeria's blue economy will rise. It is more a question of how fast and how sustainably will it rise. To achieve this, we must align. We must ensure Lagos State's blue economy strategy is synchronized with federal climate and maritime policies. We must de-risk. We must deploy PPP models and financial instruments that make projects much more commercially viable. We must engage. We must proactively court global investors, particularly from China, from Europe, from the Middle East, through clear pipelines and investment promotion missions. And we must sustain. We must build institutional mechanisms that protect projects from political turnover and ensure continuity. This is how we move from climate ambition to climate action. This is how we convert Nigeria's maritime opportunity into real wealth and shared prosperity. In closing, I will remind you all of a very important Yoruba saying, "Omi ni o gbe erin sókè." It is water that will lift the elephant. It is indeed our blue waters, our coasts, ports, inland waterways that can lift Nigeria's economy to new heights. The story of Lagos is the story of resilience, of a city that has never waited for permission to lead. On behalf of my Director General and the Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership, I can tell you that Nigeria's partners are watching Lagos closely, not only for what it builds, but for how it builds, through collaboration, innovation, and alignment. That very important word, alignment. If we align our state, federal, and global climate strategies, anchored in sound PPPs and credible governance, then Lagos will not only lead Nigeria's blue economy, it will define Africa's era of sustainable growth. Let us therefore act not in silos, but together as a single coordinated effort. Not with hesitation, but with conviction, because the tide of opportunity is rising and Lagos must rise with it. Eko Onibaje. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank you very much, sir, for the depth of that presentation with us, even though you made it truly simplified. Can we please give him another round of applause? And before we proceed, Mr. Governor and Mr. Deputy Governor, I'd like to recognize in our midst the representative of the Honorable Minister for the Blue Economy, Dr. Dayo Moberiola. Can we give him a round of applause, please? Our second lead paper brings the discussion even closer to home in Lagos. Our speaker works at the front line of coastal development and ocean-facing infrastructure, with insights into the risks, innovations, and investments that come with building in a coastal city like ours. He is the director of Eco Atlantic City Management Limited. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. David Frame to deliver lead paper 2 on coastal resilience and ocean innovation. Can we please give him a round of applause?
Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, It is a great honor to represent Echo Atlantic here today and discuss the journey that we've taken so far. And part of my presentation is a PowerPoint slide, so I hope the IT guys are able to sort that out, given the depth of this big screen behind me. Anyway, I have the script in front of me, so there you go, there it is. Now I'll go through it together with you, but it's important that we remember the history. If we go back to the origin of the erosion of our lovely Bar Beach that we all remember, it started in 1912. At that time, the Port Authority decided that they needed to expand the facility of Lagos Port. In doing so, they were required to excavate a deep channel leading to the Port of Lagos, which is the Commodore Channel. At that time, that channel was only 5, possibly 6 meters in depth, far too shallow for large ocean-going vessels to enter. So, in their wisdom, they decided to construct 2 very large rock moles. The first one to the west, known as the West Mole. The second one to the East Mole. Now, that created a sheltered channel for dredging, deepening the access to Lagos Port. But what they did not know, and with the benefit of hindsight and technology, we now know what they did, trapped sand that was moving along the west coast of the continent of Africa and was in fact extending that beach out to sea. The level of sand and the seafront was in fact 2.5 kilometers out to sea from Ahmadu Bello Bay. We have lost all that sand due to the erosion caused by the construction of those 2 moles. Now that is something that some people are old enough to remember, and I've spoken to many elderly residents of Lagos who confirm having to trek very far to take a cold box, enjoy the seafront, and trek all the way back. That's that 2.5 kilometers I'm talking about. So what happened? The erosion was very rapid. It was in the order of 25 to 30 meters of beach retreat year on year on year, until we reached 2005. What remained of our beloved Bar Beach and a greater part of Ahmadu Bello Way collapsed into the sea. That event caused great concern for the residents of Victoria Island, and immediately the Lagos State Governor enlisted Hi-Tech Construction Company to build a shoreline defense. Hi-Tech engaged that promise from the governor and worked round the clock, 24 hours, to build a very robust seawall that resisted further erosion to the coastline of Victoria Island but was not the full story. We had to go further than that. And in July 2006, we signed a concession agreement with the Lagos State government to build the Eco-Atlantic City. And the first demand of that concession agreement was to design, engineer, construct, and finance the entire project. Following that signature, real construction began in 2008 using advanced GPS technology for precise placement of the elements of the seawall. Okay, now, I think they're jumping a bit ahead of me, but could you go back to slide 2, please? No, further. That's it, you got it. That screen you see there represents the development of Eco-Atlantic from day one. As you can see, in 2009, there is no sand. That's how serious the situation was. Victoria Island, at its highest point, is 4.5 meters above sea level and slopes towards Ikoyi. When you reach the ramp to go on to Falomo Bridge, you're barely a meter above sea level. So put that in your minds. If the Bar Beach disappeared, you're very kind, thank you. If Bar Beach disappeared, if the whole of Amado Bellaway had gone, the whole of Victoria Island would have been under seawater. Doesn't bear thinking about. So, work started. In 2011, we had completed 3 million square meters of land, reclaimed, and the seawall was advancing rapidly. 2015, we had gone even further, and we reclaimed 5 million square meters of land. 2018, we had gone and reclaimed close to 7 million square meters. But then, the little blip, COVID, we had to stop work, unfortunately. But we're still there, but we're working with our consultants and engineers. 2023, we advanced even further, and in 2024, we had achieved close to 8 million square meters, which is 80% of the project as a whole. So now we go on, hopefully, with the next slide, the Great Wall of Lagos. I don't know who coined that expression, but it feels good, Great Wall of Lagos. Technology defeats us all. Aha, there you go. So, the Great Wall of Lagos. The concept of Eco-Atlantic and the Great Wall is to protect Victoria Island and Phase 1 Lekki from ocean surge. that Great Wall, as you can see from the first slide, is 8.5 meters above sea level at its crest. But below that is 10 to 12 meters of rock. The wall itself is also 8.5 kilometers in length, and at its base, 58 meters wide. A huge volume of rock. And that, our engineers tell us, is what is required to protect Echo Atlantic, but also protect, and our primary responsibility, protect Victoria Island and Lekki. I'm happy to say that that has been achieved already. Now, what does the wall consist of? In fact, there are multiple layers, 12 in fact, comprising rocks of different sizes, concrete acropods, which you will see in this third picture here. These are angular lumps of rock, of concrete, and they weigh 5 tons each. They're cast on site to very, very high standards, and they interlock together when they're placed. So it means they work in unison rather than individual units, which is the advantage over rock alone. But that is the core structure. But at the same time, we wanted to create a promenade where somebody could come to Echo Atlantic and enjoy the sea view. That promenade is 12 meters wide, and I make good use of it every evening after work. The wall was designed by renowned Dutch engineers Royal Haskoning, and in order to prove the design, it had to be tested in laboratory conditions at the Danish Hydraulic Institute. And I attended that test. The test itself, according to international standard, has to withstand the most severe storm predictable in a 100-year period. We asked them to extend that testing, which they did in multiples. Eventually, it was tested to a 1,000-year storm condition, something they classified as a Hollywood scenario. The only place you will see it is in Hollywood. But it was tested to that degree, and it passed the test with flying colors. That gave us the confidence that that wall is going nowhere, and it will protect Victoria Island, Echo Atlantic, and Ikoi long into the future. So let's try again. There we go, land reclamation. Right. The total planned area of Echo Atlantic is 10 million square meters. That is almost the equivalent of twice the size of Victoria Island. And on that footprint, we are constructing a city of international standard. We are using the technology available to us, and we are putting in place international standards of construction to make sure that we are working hard and delivering what we promised to do. The sand is achieving on a daily basis 3,000 square meters of reclamation, and we are already well on program to complete the whole of what we call the marine works by the end of 2027. Have I got a few more minutes? Okay, right, thank you. So, okay, we've dealt with the seawall, we've dealt with the construction of it, but there's more. Here we go. Anyway, it's defeated us. Oh, there we go. Very good. We have decided to use precast concrete blocks rather than asphalt for the major roads. The reason why: number one, we are using a resource that we are very knowledgeable of, that is concrete. It's more resilient than asphalt, but it has the additional environmental advantage that rather than absorbing the heat of the sun, as asphalt does, and releasing it out, making the whole area hotter, we are reflecting that heat. And we are told by consultants who work for the American Consulate Project that we are reducing the core temperature of Echo Atlantic by at least 5 degrees centigrade. So that makes life more comfortable. We're also devoted to green infrastructure. We have a tree nursery in Lekki that can cultivate up to 250,000 trees and shrubs. We have already planted and installed in excess of 8,000 to date in Echo Atlantic. And we will continue to do that in order to create that green environment that we're all looking forward to. We also are using LED lighting systems to reduce the power consumption. And I realize I'm going over a little bit, I apologize. But it's important to know that an EIA, an environmental impact assessment, was made on Echo Atlantic as a collaboration with the Federal Minister of Environment and the Lagos State Ministry of Environment. And we have regular visits from the Lagos State Ministry to ensure that we are progressing. And I'm pleased to see that my good friend, Mr. Lasisi of the Lagos State Ministry, is in attendance tonight, and we work very close together. So we are also adapting IFC EDGE certification for buildings within Echo Atlantic. Now that means that in order for a building to be constructed, it has to comply with very stringent environmental standards. And we are applying those rules and regulations to all the developers within Echo Atlantic to ensure that we carry that burden forward. And one last thing, you're looking very worried. One last thing, we did manage to save a tree that was under threat in Ikoyi. And by the way, while we're waiting, that's the tree nursery we have in Ikoyi. Aha, there it is. This 60-year-old tree was doomed to be cut down and lost. And it was in Ikoyi, and through collaboration with environmental groups, we managed to save that tree, plant it in Echo Atlantic, just a very bare trunk at the time. But now I'm happy to see it's thriving and it's an icon for the green engineering that we're applying in Echo Atlantic City. So that more or less wraps up my presentation. My apologies for the slow movement of the files, but what can I say? Again, my thanks to Lagos State Government, the Ministry of Environment, and all the help that they are providing to ensure that Echo Atlantic is delivering on green engineering. Thank you very much.
Mr. Frame, we see your passion, we feel your passion, and we thank you for that practical perspective on building and protecting a coastal city in real time. Once again, can we please give him a round of applause? Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to hear from the man charged with leading Nigeria's marine and blue economy agenda at the federal level. His ministry is responsible for translating our discussions today into national policy, investment pipelines, and coordinated action across our waters and coastline. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Minister for Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Gboyega Oyetola, for his keynote address. He is ably represented by the Director General NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Moberiola.
Good afternoon, Mr. Governor and the Deputy Governor. Please, in order to save time, allow me to stand on well-established protocol. I'm here today to represent the Honorable Minister for Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, CON. He would have been happy to be here, but unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond his control. And this is a man who is passionate, who has capacity and ability to wanting to change the situations that we all are facing in the blue economy sector. So I go straight to his speech. He started by saying Nigerians' coastline and inland waterways form one of the West African most strategic frontiers, supporting vital sectors, including fisheries, shipping, tourist, energy, and biodiversity conservation, which collectively possesses the potential to redefine Nigeria's growth model. It presents a unique opportunity for Nigeria to transition from oil dependency to a diversified, innovative-driven, and environmental resilient economy. The establishment of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy in 2023 marked a major policy breakthrough under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Aligning Nigeria with key global frameworks, such as the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 14, which is life underwater. It also aligns with the Paris Agreement, as well as African Union aims 2050. Now you wonder, what has the ministry achieved in the last 2 years? The Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy has implemented wide-ranging reforms to strengthen governance, integrate policies, and position Nigeria as a continental leader in sustainable maritime development. These reforms include National Marine and Blue Economy Policy Framework, accelerated digital transformation in port operations, which has led to increase in turnaround time for ports, advanced security reforms through NIMASA Day Blue project, and this has led to international recognition of security in Nigeria. In the last 3.5 years, we have no single piracy in Nigerian territorial waters. And on top of that, with the same infrastructure, we have also been able to reduce piracy in the Gulf of Guinea by 90%. Again, His Excellency's ambition has also come to realization as he has been able to change the international trade terms from FOB to CIF, meaning that Nigerians who are importing and exporting can now determine the type of vessels that they want to carry their goods, and also the cost of insurance and freight will be determined here in Nigeria, and the benefit will be for the Nigerian shipping companies. In the area of fiscal framework, the proposed Blue Investment Zones, strategically designated maritime corridors and economic clusters for shipping, aquaculture, corridors, renewable energy, and logistics will benefit from measures such as tax holidays for sustainable maritime operations, reduced import duties on green technologies, provincial credit facilities for environmental responsive enterprises. Legal framework in which the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy has embarked on is a robust marine and coastal maritime bill, which is crucial to institutionalization, sustainable ocean governance. This legislation should establish a legal foundation for maritime spatial planning, clearly define institutional roles and responsibilities, mandate environmental impact assessments, and provide legal instruments for blue financings. Policy alignment and governance. Fiscal and trade policies must align with the overarching blue economy vision. The medium term, the national climate change policies, and Federal Ministry of Finance, Central Bank, as well as Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy will all align together to prevent policy fragmentation and ensure consistency. Coastal change and coastal risk and resilience strategy. Nigerian coastal corridor faces escalating threats from sea level rise, erosion, as well as flooding. So it is therefore the responsibility of the marine and blue economy to institute a national coastal resilience and adaptation framework. And I can assure you that this framework is ongoing now. The ministry is advancing nature-based solutions that enhance carbon isolation, protect biodiversity, and sustain fisheries and tourist-dependent livelihood through mangrove and wetland restoration. The ministry is also working with the NIMET and NEMA to expand early warning signs, hydrometeorological monitoring, and climate modeling to strengthen disaster preparation. At the sub-national level, Lagos State exemplifies leadership through Omi Tuntun Initiative, a holistic model for flood control, waterway rehabilitation, and waste-to-wealth recycling. Internationally, Nigeria's engagement in the Paris Agreement, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and African Adaptation Initiative underscores the advocacy for climate justice, blue finance, and technology transfer. Financial instruments for a sustainable blue economy. The Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is partnering with the Federal Ministry of Finance, Central Bank, and African Development Bank. And the result will be blue bond and maritime investment infrastructure, blended finance and climate-linked facilities, PPPs, and impact investment, debt to nature and debt to climate swapped. And this has been taking place in Belize, and it has realized almost $364 million. On the subnational Blue Finance and Lagos Pilot Hub, as West African economic engine, Lagos will pioneer municipal blue bonds and public-private partnership for shoreline stabilization, flood control, waste-to-energy system. This sublime method will serve as a template for coastal states, ensuring local ownership of blue economy financing. I will give an example, according to the Honorable Minister, of how important the blue economy has been to some countries. In Indonesia, blue economy generates 1.3 billion annually for the country. In Bangladesh, it contributes 6.1 billion to the economy of the country on an annual basis. In Malaysia, it contributes 40% to the GDP of the country. And in Philippines, it contributes 11.9 billion on the annual basis. So the question is, why can't we do that and do better in Nigeria? We are collaborating with universities to develop research programs that will be maritime enterprise focused to generate businesses, and with the help of the private sector, we are sure we'll be able to achieve this. The Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy has also developed a framework called Tripart Helix Model, which is a relationship between universities in knowledge and drive research. The industries, commerce, and technology will be able to key into this in order to develop their bases. Ladies and gentlemen, on regional cooperation, the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is partnering with regional leadership, continental integration, global engagement, and most importantly, blue finance diplomacy. On the roadmap, implementing roadmap and governance, the roadmap faces is short terms, medium terms, which is between 18 and 24 months, and long term, which is beyond 48 months. Let me end by saying that it is fitting that this conservation takes place in Lagos. Lagos is the largest coastal megacity and a global model for sub-national innovation. Lagos exemplifies what is possible when visionary policies meet practical investment, and when technology, governance, and community engagement converge to build resilience. Lagos continues to demonstrate leadership in coastal infrastructure, flood mitigation, and public sector partnership for sustainability through initiatives such as Omitutu Eco-Atlantic and City Forward-Looking Climate Action Plan. So we plan and we hope that all the coastal states in Nigeria will emanate and collaborate with Lagos State. So on that note, I present to you the speech of the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for outlining the opportunities and responsibilities of Nigeria's blue economy in such clear terms. When leadership meets vision, the impossible begins to look achievable. Mr. Governor has become the defining face of that truth, connecting dreams to duty, policy to progress, and promise to performance. From the rails that carry our ambitions to the waterways that connect our communities, from housing and transport to technology and climate resilience, his footprints run boldly across the Lagos story, while also positioning the state as a hub for investment and innovation in West Africa. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you are able, join me in welcoming Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State, to deliver his keynote address. Well, I did say, as you are able. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Thank you. Thank you very much for the audience we have here today. The Honorable Commissioner kept calling me his principal. So kept wondering which secondary school did we open? And is he the vice principal or is he just a head teacher? And I said that This is the first time we're seeing this level of screen, at least at these premises. And I believe it's a resilient screen, and it depletes the whole essence of why we're here this afternoon. I think it's really showing us real pictures of what Lagos is and what it can become. So let me also adopt the protocol, but let me acknowledge Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, the professor representing the Honorable, the Governor of Osun State, who proudly said that they are happy with number 30 to number 6 now, Professor Chinwe, the representative of the Honorable Minister for Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Agboyega Oyetola, here ably represented by the DG of NIMASA, who himself was a former commissioner for transport and MD of Lamata. So some of the problems that we now have, they created it and he left. Dr. Dayo Meberiola, thank you very much. The Lagos State member of the House of Assembly representing the Speaker, Honorable Afini, members of the State Executive Council that are here, I acknowledge all of you, Commissioner and Special Advisors, acknowledge Body of Permanent Secretary, acknowledge all Excellencies, Consul General, and heads of various missions that are representing various countries here in Lagos, from China to Netherlands to France. Thank you very much for being part of this. Our traditional institutions are also here. They also help us continue to liberate our ocean and our seas, representing the Oba of Lagos and all other KBSCs that are here, especially Oba Oni Sabe of Igbobi Sabe and our White Cap Chiefs. Thank you very much. Erelu of Lagos, thank you very much. Our political leaders that are here, Abaolusi and Prince Ogunle, thank you. Mr. Tunde Balogun, thank you very much. All the other stakeholders in the marine blue economy space, experts that are all here, opinion seekers, and all of you that are going to be here today and tomorrow. I want to thank you very much for creating the time to be here this morning into the afternoon. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, like other speakers that also said, I think I stand here with a very warm pleasure and as I welcome all of us to the 11th Lagos International Climate Change Summit. I think we deserve a round of applause for 11 years. We've kept faith with an important summit, which we call the Climate Summit. We see it as a gathering that brings together innovators in this space, visionaries, financiers, policymakers, and all of you. We believe we're all united by a single cause. We're all planning to secure the planet, the Mother Earth planet that we all call home. And coincidentally, as the world converges in Brazil to begin deliberation of COP30, which is a conference of partners, which I also was meant to be there, but I think the Vice President is leading the Nigerian delegation. On a yearly basis, we have the Conference of Partners, which we call COP30, is currently being held in Brazil as we speak. We see our decisions and our discussions here in Lagos as not just peripheral. We believe that they are critical, they are pivotal, because for cities like ours, climate change is not just an abstract headline. It is a valid reality of where we are. And our response, therefore, must be urgent. Our response must be inclusive and must be innovative. We clearly have close to 25 million population. We are in a coastal area that has almost 190 kilometers of Atlantic coast. So Lagos lives where land meets the ocean. We say that we have only two borders, the Atlantic Ocean and just one neighboring state. Some other states in the country have 10 neighbors. We have the major Atlantic Ocean is our longest neighbor. And so when we say that Lagos lives where lives meet the ocean, that's the essence of what we mean. Where our ambition collides with nations' limits. Yet, we have chosen not to retreat, but we have chosen to rise, as Lagos continues to be a city that is built on water, is built on energy, and is also built on entrepreneurship. And as it often said, Lagos does not wait for the future. Lagos actually builds its future. And that future must be sustainable, a future that must be inclusive, and must be a future that is ocean-powered. And that is very, very critical. Omi Olota, Lagos cannot do without its water. And so everything we're building must be ocean-powered. And so our approach to this climate era is anchored on three critical interconnected pillars. We believe it has to be resilient, we have to be completely innovative, and we have to be able to create a financing model that would work. And so we're building a coastal resilience to protect the life and livelihood of our people. We're driving ocean innovation to emerge commerce and mobility. And we're unlocking green and blue finance to power both. And so we're being very deliberate in all of those pillars. We're creating green economy, we're projecting and we're pushing blue finance. And we're doing this to unlock the potential, because it's only commerce and mobility that can help us create and sustain that Lagos that we want to build out of ocean powered. And you saw some of the pictures that, climate change and ocean issues are real. You don't need to go far to see them in real facts. And so the Great Wall of Lagos, like David said, it sounds very nice. It's one of Africa's most ambitious coastal defense systems. We've used it to transform what could have been an Atlantic wasteland into a thriving Eco-Atlantic city. With our partnership, Eco-Atlantic, they've created over 8 million cubic of sand to build that wall. And like Frame had said, we're still going to 10 million. And so we've seen the rise of a city out of water, which is a living testament of human ingenuity and a Lagos that is completely defiant. We're very optimistic, we're very forward-looking. A place that was once threatened by erosion, it now stands as a beacon of renewal. And also based on that, I want to, on your behalf, also thank Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for also, in less than 3 years, being part of our Lagos coastal infrastructure story. The very beautiful Lagos-Calabar Highway, which is right, on the coastal line, and also the 7th Axial Road. And so these are some of the heavy coastal infrastructure that will adorn and beautify and see the resilience and the essence of building our city out of the ocean. For us in Lagos, one of the things that we've also done is around also our Omi Eco initiative, which we're using it to redefine urban mobility. So when we say that 1/3 of Lagos is surrounded by water, meaning that as small as we have, about 33 to 35% of Lagos, excluding the Atlantic Ocean, just our creeks and lagoon, is part of what we see at Lagos. So we really don't have a choice in the matter. That's what nation has given to us. That's what nature has given to us. And we need to protect it. We need to nurture it. We need to be very, very serious about it. And so with the Omi Eco initiative, we're creating a low-carbon water transport network, which we believe will be powered by innovative financing created by AFD, EU Investment Bank. We believe in that we're creating a system with clean energy ferries. There will be solar-decked hubs, smart navigational system, It will certainly ease the pressure on our road infrastructure, it will reduce emission, and it will create what we call green jobs, new green jobs, all on the water. And so that's some of the funding and the financing that we're speaking to. And if you had forgotten also, just last month, Lagos also used its water to showcase that what they see in Miami and in Monaco and in other big ocean cities. We hosted the first E1 electric boat series, which was a premier electric marine competition. It was not just sports. It was actually, for us, it was a symbolism of an African statement, a statement that we can adopt, we can adapt, we can be part of that world, and we can create our water as a sustainable means of livelihood. It was a race towards the future. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as we advance our climate agenda today and tomorrow, we recognize that true resilience goes beyond infrastructure and technology. It is also about restoring harmony with nature itself, because the health of our city is inseparable from the health of its natural ecosystem. You see Lagos mangroves, our lagoons, our wetlands, and our natural lungs. It absorbs carbon, is nourishing biodiversity, and is protecting our coast. We have commenced the gazetting of our wetland reserves and mangroves forests alongside our wetland carbon credit framework to reward communities for conservation efforts and that will attract climate capital into restorative projects. And you know, our traditional institutions, they are all here. You know, they know how important water is to them. And so it's important that we continue to work together on this, ensure that we're not just breaking, we're not just cutting, we're actually restoring. We're ensuring that we can preserve what nature has given to us free of charge. And so at the institutional level, we have set up the Lagos Lagoon Authority. We believe it will coordinate waterways management, it will monitor pollution, and it will enforce environmental compliance. It will be guided by our polluter pay framework, where responsibility and accountability will go hand in hand. We're taking this conversation beyond just talk shop. I think as a government, we need to also be very serious, and we need to be able to protect, our coastal and marine life, and be able to unlock the potential, all of the financing potentials that are there, not only for today, but also for the economics and for the lives that are coming behind us. At last year's summit, we launched the Lagos Climate Adaptation and Resilience Plan, which was a comprehensive blueprint to turn ambition into action. It was building on that, and in collaboration with the National Finance Corporation, the World Bank, Lagos developed the Climate Investment Opportunity Diagnostics, a practical investment guide which will align with our climate priorities with financing solutions. I think it's one of the things we're going to launch here today. It identifies opportunities across clean energy, identify opportunity in sustainable transportation and resilient infrastructure. We see sectors that will create the next decade of opportunity of growth for Lagos. Dr. Mebriola heads NIMASA. They are one of the agencies of federal government that has the largest revenue, on water. So it's about time they need to begin to do derivation with NIMASA as well, so that once you do that heavy collection, we know you have responsibility all across our international waters. But if we put derivation to it, a significant part of it must sit in Lagos. So I want to thank you for believing that you can help us carry on the message. Like I said, you were once in public transportation. Now you are now in ocean economy money making. So please, remember to carry the message to our Honorable Minister for Blue Economy. Let it remain here, because this is the capital of blue economy itself. and we want to continue to partner and to align with you. And so today, we want to renew our call for global investors. Investing in Lagos is a resilience, not a philanthropy. We believe it's a smart way, a smart economy. We believe it's an investment in the stability of Nigeria and Africa as a whole, in Africa's most dynamic economy. And we believe it's an investment into the security of the continent's coastal future. We believe it aligns with global momentum. We know the conversations that is happening at COP30. We know that some of our people will also even be going to join them. Some of them are already there. But we want to move away from just talk. That's why we also are very intentional that we also are doing our own climate summit, so that the information will get there, to say that we also want to be on the driver's seat of our own life and how we want to shape our conversation. And so we'll be leveraging world-class, bank-grade, blockchain digital infrastructure into the Lagos Carbon. We believe it will be supported by a national determined contribution, and it will facilitate the trading of internationally transferred mitigation outcomes, ITMO. Lagos Carbon will enable countries and companies worldwide to finance verified emission reduction and removals across Lagos and Nigeria. It will drive job creation, it will create a fostering technology transfer, and it will improve health, wealth, and well-being of Nigerians for generations to come. In COP30, we're showcasing our cooking stove initiative, which is one of our clean energy sources of energy. Our special advisor on climate change, Titi Oshode, I think she's there. I don't know if Fini is there already, our special advisor. Are you still going? On SGD. You are also not joining that. Okay. But at Commissioner, I think some of you are still going to. So the conversation there, is what she has taken a lead on. They need to be able to listen to us and listen to us well, and be able to show the extent of what we're doing, on clean energy, on clean cooking stove, and while they need to support us to ensure that we can scale. Lamata is actually there to demonstrate all of our initiative around clean mobility. I think it's the current United General Secretary, Antonio Guterres, who recently warned that the era of global warming has ended. The era of global boiling has arrived. So what it means is not just warning again, it's actually boiling. And so we cannot afford incremental steps. It's time for us to take bold actions. Transformative climate leadership, we believe, is now. Lagos is committing to lead Africa's change. Lagos is committed to lead the continental change. We believe that working with the federal government and other private sector partners, we can showcase even to the world, the power of resilience, and Lagos can be a strong demonstration of that. We believe that if Lagos can rise from its heights, so can other African countries or African cities. And so our story proves that development and decarbonization are not opposite. In fact, they are twin engines of progress, both development and decarbonization, and they can work hand in hand. And so in conclusion, we see a blue economy that is not just an economic concept. We believe it's now a lifeline for the planet. We believe the green transition is not just an obligation. It's an opportunity for us to build better. Lagos, in the next week or so, will also be we'll be launching the first green bond, as a sub-national. I'm right? We'll be launching the first green bond. Financial, with financial support in the next week or two or so, and the professor from Oshun, you will take that away as another first, and we're believing that you are learning, and you are learning really fast. And so let us seize this opportunity. Let's seize this moment to finance the tides of resilience, to turn our blue waters into green wealth, and to leave behind not just a livable Lagos, but a Lagos that is thriving. We believe that together we can make a Lagos the beating heart of Africa, not just for today, but in a sustainable future. A city that did not drown under the weight of climate change, but it rose above it to lead the world. And I think Eco-Atlantic and what David Frame and all of them are doing is a clear example of leading the world, where people never believed that it can happen. People never believed that it can be real, and we've seen it, and it's real. And we're beginning to see that all of the opportunities around the blue economy, all of the opportunity around our coastal opportunity are becoming a reality in Lagos. And so on this note, I want to welcome you again to this 11th summit. We're believing that today and tomorrow will create a discussion that will help us take, the conversation forward. Welcome you to Lagos to this International Climate Change Summit. Thank you very much.
Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, we say a big thank you. Once again, can I ask that we give Mr. Governor a round of applause as we take our seats. We now proceed to a major highlight of this summit, the launch of the Climate Investment Opportunities Diagnostic CIOD for Lagos. This diagnostic tool identifies real, bankable climate projects and opportunities across key sectors, positioning Lagos as a destination for serious, structured, green and blue finance. And to lead this important launch, may I respectfully invite again Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State, and he will be joined by the leads, the honorable commissioners of the two ministries kosher to this project's development. I also invite the Honorable Commissioner, Economic Planning and Budget, Okpe George, to join Mr. Governor, as well as Honorable Commissioner, Environment, Tokunbo Wahab. May I also invite the World Bank team, Mr. Ayo Olowo Okere, Mrs. Miriam Nji, and also Temilola Shonola. May I also invite the Deputy Governor of Lagos State to please join us on stage for that all-important ceremony. And also, of course, the LAG team, Odimole Mobolaji, Director, Development Partnerships, Bankole, Director, Climate Change, and Dr. Daniel, CRO, the Chief Resilience Officer. Can we have everyone on stage for this important part of the event? Just to let you know that if you're unable to get a copy, the QR code will be displayed, and then you can make the best use of that. To close this opening ceremony, I now invite the Permanent Secretary, Office of Environmental Services, Mr. Gaji Omobalaji Tajuddin, to give the vote of thanks.
Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, His Royal Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all the attendees. It's a great honor to deliver this vote of thanks at the 11th Lagos International Climate Change Summit. Over the past few hours, we've shared powerful ideas, renewed commitment to share goal, building a greener, more resilient future for Lagos and Africa. This summit has shown once again that progress is inevitable when government, the private sector, academia, and our partners work together. On behalf of the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State. Your visionary leadership and genuine commitment to the well-being of Lagos continue to inspire us all. Your hands-on approach has shown that protecting our environment is not just good governance, but a lasting legacy of care for future generations. This summit and its outcomes clearly mirrors the ideals of your Themes agenda, Themes Plus agenda, especially your focus on health and environment, building a 21st century economy, and promoting sustainability at the heart of Lagos' development journey. Our deep appreciation goes to the Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Kadri-Hamzat, our own guide and leader. Our deep appreciation goes to Honorable Commissioner for Environment, our Special Advisor, our colleagues, permanent secretaries, the body of permanent secretaries, the ESCO members, the entire ministry for your tireless commitment and dedication. To our distinguished speakers, moderators, panelists, thank you for sharing your insights and inspiring innovative ideas for action. We are also grateful to our developmental partners, donor agencies, international collaborators, for your steadfast support, and our private sector partners and investors for proving that sustainability and profitability can thrive together. A special word of recognition goes to the organizing committee for the seamless coordination of this summit, and to the media for helping amplify the message of climate action. To our colleagues in academia, civil society, and community-based organizations, thank you for keeping our policies grounded, inclusive, and people-focused. Finally, to all participants and delegates, both here and online, thank you for your presence, your idea, and your continued commitment. As we continue with the session, let us keep the momentum alive. Together, we can build a Lagos that is prosperous, sustainable, and resilient. A city that truly leads by example. Thank you all. Igbega Ipeleko, Ajumose Boboani. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to respectfully invite the Governor back on stage for a group photograph. Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, Honorable Commissioner, the representative of the Minister of Blue Economy. Representative of Osun State. Can we also have the representative of the Oba of Lagos on stage, please? The representative of the Oba of Lagos. We're going on a quick tea break, and we will reconvene in just a few minutes for the rest of the ceremony, the rest of the event, the plenaries. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please be reminded that we will reconvene in 10 minutes to continue with the event. We'll reconvene in 10 minutes.